Good afternoon. My name is Cheryl Fortain. I'm the Walvis Bay American Corner Coordinator. Today's session is in celebration of Global Entrepreneurship Week. Our program speaker for today is Mr. Heinrich Hafeni. He's a 2015 Mandela Washington Fellow. He's also the Executive Chairman and founder of Hafeni Afrika Tourism Group. Now let's please welcome Mr. Hafeni.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to participate and to share my part of, the entrepreneur journey. And as a Mandela Fellow, I think it's part of what we are, to share the dream with others. And as we celebrate Global Entrepreneurship Week, it's an honor to be here and then to engage you and to share the African dream. Are you there?
Yes, we're there. Please continue your journey from beginning.
Oh, no, the journey from the beginning. Oh, so okay, yeah. So I said that yes, I'm Heinrich Hafeni. I am an entrepreneur, social entrepreneur. I think my business is very much linked to making people happy and serving the people. I think I'm in the tourism and hospitality industry, where I run my organization, the Hafeni Afrika Tourism Group, an organization that is very much focused on cultural and heritage tourism based in Swakopmund, Namibia. I have started my journey as an entrepreneur in 2011 after having worked. Obviously, from the age of 17 years old, I got an opportunity to work in a hotel in Swakopmund and will be employed as a dishwasher. And eventually, when I finished my high school, I was promoted to become a waiter, a profession that will later propel me to where I am today. And I received a job offer to work in traveling in 2005 in Africa as a tour leader for the Overland Tour Company, whereby I had the opportunity to be in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Mozambique, to name a few. And I think my passion for Africa was developed as a result for my experience, and my entrepreneurial passion was also born. As a result, I will meet a lot of people from diverse backgrounds from the global community. And I think that shaped me to exactly start my business in an industry of tourism and hospitality because of the passion of service that I have. Fast forward in 2011, when I resigned from my work as an overland tour guide, and I decided to go to Namibia, live in Swakopmund, and establish myself to become a pioneer businessman of Namibia and then of the African continent by starting off the Hafeni Township Tour experiences, an opportunity that I knew that will parachute me or propel me into the mainstream tourism industry. I think the journey, when I mentally prepared myself, I call it mental preparedness. I remember back in 2000, when I resigned, I mentally prepared myself. I was groomed and I was mentored, and I will ask questions to say, I will start my journey as an entrepreneur. What are the tools I need to succeed as an entrepreneur? Being a new startup, it is very difficult, and it was very difficult because nobody believed in you and nobody wanted to give you a chance. But because of my mental preparedness, telling myself that I will start a business and I know that I will suffer and struggle and not be taken seriously in my beginning years, because as my mentors also told me that you never give up, you must continue to knock, you must continue to never give up, you must continue to believe in yourself. So I use those attitudes to continue to waver until I know that the industry start taking myself seriously. As a result, I've also established my knew that if I were to become the best, I have to network and meet people from diverse backgrounds in the industry and build new relationships. That meant that I needed to go out of Swakopmund and go to international tourism resort exhibitions like the Durban, ITB, and even I had a chance to go to the tourism roadshow in New York and Six City Roadshow with the Namibian Tourism Board in 2014. And the aim and objective of that was that if you want to be the best, you must able to get out of your comfort zone. And unfortunately, you have to spend the money. And I had to spend the money, even though I did not have it, but I had to polish myself to be able to establish myself that the industry will only take you seriously if you also move out of your comfort zone. So fast forward, as I say that at the same time, I also knew that I did not have enough background of entrepreneurship, and I developed also a very much love for leadership. So because I believe that if you study leadership, and I believe that I'm a born leader, but I needed to develop my leadership skills. And entrepreneurs are a catalyst of society. And if they can become successful, they can be able to liberate many of the community as they become a catalyst of hope and inspiration. So Hafeni Tourism Group is an organization that will be built around people saying that we will give best services. But again, our vision and our mission is to be not just a Namibian tourism organization, but to become an African tourism organization. This is just the beginning. And hence, obviously, my participation as an alumni of the Mandela Washington Fellowship and many others gave me the platform and an opportunity to meet like-minded young leaders from the African continent. Hence, obviously, we're working and collaborating to create initiatives as to be able to take advantage of the new opportunity of the Africa Union Agenda 2063 flagship program, which is the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. And that is a focus that we want to work and to create, to work alongside. So fast forward, I think I will want to be guided by you, Madam Charel. And but again, my journey as an entrepreneur started from humble beginning in Mondesa Township in Swakopmund. And today, 10 years later, my dream and my passion to become the best entrepreneur of my time. I believe in myself. And due to COVID, obviously, those are questions that you might ask me. But again, let me rest here. I'm honored to be on the program. As I said, I'm just an African dreamer from the township of Mondesa who believes himself that he can become the champion of his time with the like-minded people to build a Namibian economy and to make Africa proud. So I give it to you, or is any, if you can. Yeah, so I think Madam Cheryl is giving me the platform here to be the only speaker, and yeah, I will try my best to educate and to share the methodology of a winning entrepreneur, the mind that we need to possess as young African entrepreneurs. My journey so far, I will not be who I am if I did not associate myself with seasoned entrepreneurs. And I think my message to many young people is that your greatness is who you associate yourself with. And get yourself mentors. And over the years, I got myself many mentors. They will teach me and they will share ideas on how I can be able to build my business. Today, obviously, as a result of my tourism business, I travel a lot. And this traveling, I meet the future stakeholders that enhances my business. And every day I continue to want to innovate. During the Corona time, it was very difficult for tourism industry entrepreneurs. But I happened to, obviously for the last 2 years, I have closed some of my businesses. I have to lay down some of my employees until the tourism sector economy comes back. As I said, I think what I want to do is that with Cheryl, if she can lead me, it's just maybe because when you have an engagement, because you want to get across the point to see that to educate, to share the winning formulas. So maybe if Cheryl, you can be able to give me one or two, and then I can be able to give you a bit of a pointers, because I like giving contribution and I might probably end up talking way beyond my time. But if you can let me there, so we can.
Okay, Heinrich, how did COVID affect your business?
No, thank you very much. During COVID-19, it was a very difficult time for every entrepreneur. If you did not, I think my mental preparedness when I started my business, I was taught by my mentors that the business, sometimes there will not be money, there will not be business, there will not be, it will be tough. And I learned that the journey that I've been taught that it will be a lonely journey, and then it will just be you, the entrepreneur, who must make things happen, and tornadoes and the storm will come. So when COVID-19 came, I remember what my mentor told me before I even started the business. And I think it was very difficult. You have bills to pay for the business, and sometimes you have to make the tough, drastic decisions to be able to make sure that you stay relevant as a business person, which means that you have to do tough decisions. As a result, I had to close my bed and breakfast business. I had to close down my my bistro in town and some other businesses, and then also the employees. Because in terms of assistance, it was very difficult. The banks were not our friends during COVID-19 period, and one has to survive by our own terms and finding initiative. And I want to pay homage to God. I think without God, by your side, because you need to have the faith. And God said that I will make you a champion. And I think those are the type of attitude that I possessed, because I remember, and I keep saying I'm champion. God made me a champion, and I go through the tough period like anybody else. But again, COVID-19 was very severe. And I could only think about other business people. And as I said, I adapted a resilience of never say die in the midst of adversity. And I think through that adversity and my faith in believing that I'm a champion and I'm going to be the entrepreneur I said I would become. And I think that's what kept me. I think the attitude, and I cannot say that it was, even in the current moment, we are not out of the woods. We need to continue with the momentum that we have of the economic revival that we are having, but it's a continued journey. But we hope that we continue to climb up as we rebuild the tourism sector. But yeah, I also did, that was my stride. We did a few contributions where we mentored young people during the COVID-19 in business in the following towns in Arandes, Walvis Bay, and Swakopmund, with Mr. Joseph Kafunda of the Emerging Tourism Association. And the aim and objective is, we felt like since we were on lockdown in the Rongo region, we need to do initiatives to be able to bring back hope of business motivation, because the entrepreneurs and small businesses did not have any big brother to help them to that they must never give up. And the economy of this country is very much, the young upcoming businesses are the vital businesses that we must preserve, we must assist, because they are the one that create more jobs. So we are at the level now, yes.
Okay, Hafeni, knowing what you know now, is there anything you would have done differently when you were first starting out?
When I was first starting out, what I know now, I think, you when you're starting up, you are just, I think you know a little bit. And for 10 years that I've been a full-time entrepreneur, I've learned a lot. I think it's about, in business, the business, when you start off, if you are not, you think you can get business in the moment you start business. And it takes time. It's a process. And this process also requires you, the entrepreneur or the startup, to slowly build those relationships with different various stakeholders. And these stakeholders will take time for you to trust to do business with you. And what I learned now is that obviously before you were a bit, in terms of spending, because you need to go to those Dubai trade fairs, you need to go to those South African trade fairs or African intra-Africa trade fair. You need to go there as a young entrepreneur. Before, obviously I knew that I need to spend the money, but somehow you still reserve. But as I said, entrepreneurs are risk takers. And in the time when I started off, I was very much I wanted to just help everybody. I wanted to assist, and then my mentor would tell me, Hafeni, you're a businessman. Your job is to make business and to make money. And but again, when you want to be an activist and then you want to be a businessman, you need to. So there was a component where you choose: are you in business to make a business and to build a business, or are you in business to, you need to choose. The businessman, his role and the aim and objective of a business person is to be able to build business and use the proceeds of business to build and liberate and make society a better place. And I think I know a lot now. I think I'm more matured compared to what I started. And that's why I said I was associating myself with mentors, and I will listen to them, and then I will take notes from them, and I will implement some of those notes that I've learned. So when I started, I want to become a champion businessman, but I did not have, if it was not for Mandela Washington Fellow program in America, where I did the business and entrepreneurship, I will not have the attitude that I have, because I learned a lot of skills on how to become a pioneer businessman. I mean, visiting Fortune 500 companies, they impact you. And then today I have lifelong mentors from the United States and the global village as a result. When I started, I didn't have that. And the trade fairs and exhibition that I had to attend, and the relationship I have forming with the American embassy and many of the alumni, I think they enrich me. And I think today I'm very rich as a result of the networks and the partnership from the fellow alumni and the wisdom, because we share. I mean, an entrepreneur is about other people. I just have a dream, but my dream is impacted by the people I've met over the years in my 10-year career as a full-time businessman. So today I'm different. I think you can put me on a table and have a robust discussion. But again, it's a continued journey. And that's why I said that when you start a business, give yourself 20 years. Some succeed in 1 year, some succeed in 10 years, but I would like to say an entrepreneur is a lifelong journey. It's a lifestyle, and you breathe it, you live it, and there are happy moments, there are sad moments. But again, I will say that when I started off, I was just a township tour operator from Mandela Township, and that opened up for me to start the Hafeni traditional restaurant, and then that's opened up an opportunity to start up a Hafeni bed and breakfast in Walvis Bay, and that also paved way for me to start Katutura Township experiences in Windhoek. So, and many other areas in Namibia. But again, this is just the beginning on that. But again, I remain humble, and that's what many of my mentors remain humble, be grounded, and go for breakthrough results. And that's from Mr. Spentime many years ago, when he also gave me advice on how to become champion entrepreneur.
Okay, Hafeni, yes. What challenges did you have to overcome at the beginning of your journey?
The challenges is that I remember when I started in 2011, I remember that education, because I said I want to become champion entrepreneur, but I realized I did not know the education of entrepreneur. So I signed myself up to be part of the Namibia Tourism Board's Wits University Business School, Entrepreneurship and New Ventures Creation. And I learned, and it taught me. And then later on, I decided it's about, you can be an entrepreneur, but you need to still study. You need to still equip your mind. And I did not know that. Before, I was just a young man from the tourism industry. I was just practical, I know how to serve. But when it comes to the learning of the trade, the attitude of the trade, and what it's all about. I had to go to study, and then at the same time, those opportunities of those different short courses that I had to do impacted me in trying to run my business more effectively. And as I said, it's not we still make mistakes along the way, and that's normal. And those who are doing entrepreneurship and they are failing, it's okay to fail, because it's part of the journey. And if you don't fail, you don't learn, you don't know how to correct and how you can become the champion. But I had to learn, and I think, and in the beginning, nobody is taking you seriously. And I remember I will knock on different doors, and even the bankers, and I needed financing. Number one, that's very critical. I needed financing for my bus. And I qualified. We now graduated from the Wits University. And now at the end of the day, now I'm going to the bank, and I said, okay, now government, you play the part to educate us, especially the previous disadvantaged people in the tourism sector. Now I need a bus so that I can be able to do my township tour and pick up. And I could not get assistance in that regard, but because of my resilience, knowing that you need to help me, and I ended up getting a loan from, I think, for my safari truck from the Development Bank of Namibia at that time, and which I finished paying off. And that was a journey, but without funding, it remained a big problem. So we need, I think, funding continue to emerging entrepreneurs. Some of them have great ideas to transform society, but they are not financially supported to establish their small business. I think that's one of the small challenges. But again, one of my mentors told me, if you have a dream, you must stick onto your dream, forget about the money, focus on the dream, and the money will come. So I think that is the type of attitude I continue to use until today. I see an opportunity, I have a dream to establish a hotel in the township in Mondesa. And it's continued to something that captivates me. And I'm saying that when you establish an institution in one of the previous disadvantaged communities, like a hotel establishment, it inspires a lot of young people to also dream. And if you don't build in townships like that, it makes the young people from those communities to run away from those communities and not believing that they can become the champions. And that's why my job has always been, and if I look at my mission of my tourism company, was to using tourism as a vehicle to uplift local communities. And because tourism is one of the most effective tools and powerful tools that can liberate and alleviate poverty. And that's why I focus on villages and townships and local communities to do micro tours, because I know that we can be able to have a major impact. But yeah, fast forward, that's basic. I hope I answered the question about the challenge. It was just that nobody takes you seriously, but the only thing I can give away to the emerging entrepreneurs, never give up, never give up, never give up. Continue to believe in yourself. And then I remember that because many young people are told they give up because nobody believes in them and they feel like it's the end of the world. I was also there, and I continue to still in this journey after 10 years face that. But again, because the more you are in the game, the more you start getting a resilience. Merci.
Thank you, Hafeni. A last question from our side. What advice would you give to someone who is trying to become an entrepreneur?
Someone who's trying to become an entrepreneur. Okay,
yeah,
I wanted to discuss, entrepreneurs are the most special people of our society. I think when community or society at large see young people who are venturing into entrepreneurial space, these young people must 100% be supported, because these young people are the hope of those communities. And they are the ones that are supposed to be able to create jobs and transform those communities. So, and also when we now grow as entrepreneurs, I think right now we need to be able to take advantage of the opportunities, and not forgetting, we must make opportunities and mechanisms possible for funding. You must make it happen. I look at the demographics of our country, where you look at the economy of scale, where you have those who have, it's a smaller portion, and those who don't have is a large portion. So we need to be able to focus on that. And we need to turn it and say, let us find and look at 121 constituency of our country and fund entrepreneurs around this country with, say you take 1 billion or 2 billion and you give 1,000 entrepreneurs around those regions, and you're starting a process to be able to create more entrepreneurs, creating our own millionaires. And now, and billionaires for that matter. So now what I'm saying that there is a way that we need to be able to, what is the word? The Africa Continental Free Trade Area is a flagship program of the Africa Union Agenda 2063. 54 countries have signed this document to say that we now have a policy on the African continent for African entrepreneurs to trade. Before it was verbally. I want entrepreneurs of Namibia. We are only 2.5 million. And the Development Bank and entrepreneurs and many other banks, even the commercial banks, must come on board so that we can be able to educate. Also, there's also a need for education for our entrepreneurs in Namibia, for the education of the intra-Africa trade. What is it about? I think there's more awareness that we need to do. My encouragement is to say that the time has come for Namibian entrepreneurs, emerging entrepreneurs, a nation without startups or emerging entrepreneurs or small businesses, and we don't focus on that, it's not a nation. We need to find synergies and we need to celebrate these small entrepreneurs. Yes, it is tough, but I believe very much that the time has now come. The economic revival must be, we must hold hands. The president always say, we must put resources and we must identify those young people that can create jobs, transform our local economy. So my advice is just that don't give up. The opportunities are there. Be bold, tell it like it is. Work hard, believe, associate yourself with the right people. Be an ethical business person. And don't take shortcuts, because I am telling you, if you want to take shortcuts as an entrepreneur, there is no way that you're going to reach the promised land. The ones that will reach the promised land and the ones that Namibia and the African continent needs are ethical business leaders. And young people, we are the future, and Africa's population is young people, are the ones that are now everybody's talking about young people because they know that they can't ignore the young people. I mean, I'm obviously over 35 now, but I consider I have the energy, but this energy, we don't have it all the time. Let us organize ourselves. When I also initiated, Cheryl, with my brother from the Mandela Washington Fellow, Mr. Percy Koji, a 2014 alumni, where we started the Africa Economic Leadership Council. The aim and objective is that let us collaborate using our networks of the African network of the Mandela and many alumni of other institutions, so that we can come up with economic leadership platform where we can do summits, B2B sessions, and start talking about investment and trade among the young entrepreneurs of the Africa, as to be able to complement the intra-Africa trade. But we did launch in April this year, so we're looking for the next activity. We will, but this is what we are doing, to be able to bring together young entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs on the continent and who's who, because that the time has come now. That's why you see, I think everybody's talking about it in Durban. They are having the activity there in Durban for the intra-Africa trade. I was following it. We need to follow it. And my message to young entrepreneurs in Namibia, understand intra-Africa trade. What is it all about? The Africa Continental Free Trade actually is what you need to know. How do I get involved? And I think that's where we are. I think, yeah, the passion is there as we celebrate Global Entrepreneurship Week. I think society, job losses are more than ever. Young graduates are at home, they don't have anything to do. And I urge those ones who believe they have an idea, they are talented, and they feel like they want to be part and parcel of a team, or they feel, I think let's organize ourselves, young people. There's opportunity. We don't need to look for jobs. We can just organize ourselves and we can build big businesses together for the African continent.
Hafeni, I see there's a question in the chat.
The chat, what is it? Where is it?
There's a question from one of the participants in the chat.
Okay. Okay, I want to look at it. What does it say? I'm trying.
Okay, it's from Stockton. It says, I just wanted to find out what is the best going forward for tourism industry in Namibia, and what would you want us Namibian citizens to understand and to start doing to give the important sector a good boost and acceleration into making a good economic contribution again? What do you as an entrepreneur in the sector have in place and are aware of now how to withstand up to 80% similar future setbacks like COVID-19?
Okay, no, good question. I think how COVID-19, those are pandemics that it's out of our reach. When you look at your SWOT analysis, there's a weakness. What are the weaknesses that can, make the business not prosper well? And COVID-19 falls under that category. But the resilience, how do we now move from here to prepare ourselves that whenever the next pandemic arrives, we do not be caught in the same atmosphere or situation, because all of us were not prepared. We did not have contingency plans. That's why I said for those who are now starting the tourism businesses, the financial planning of your business and discipline is very important. We need to all go whenever, and I think one of the messages I forgot to mention is all the entrepreneurs who are startups, get yourself a very good financial person that will give you a financial literacy on how to make sure you look after investment. The opportunities in tourism. I look at Namibia has strategic locations, strategic tourism routes, yeah? And Namibia is also now a cultural destination. Cultural tourism is growing, and the tourists are looking for authentic cultural experiences. My advice is that even with the Hafeni Tourism Group, we're looking at partnering up with young people who believe that they have the opportunity and they are in those strategic locations, and we can hold hands and we can be able to create products in those respective tourism strategic routes and set up cultural activities there. And I see there's opportunity there for, because when you look at Sosos Play, you look at Zambezi, you look at Kavango, these are all, or you look at Ovambu region and many others, there is opportunities. And it's just down because not everybody really understand the packaging. Me and my friend, one of my other tourism associate, does training and also costing, how you can cost your activities. We have all those expertise, and I think what we are planning is to go out, and if for those who don't know how to do it, and if you have an idea and you want to start a tourism business, you can call me, and then we can come there, and then we can do we can be able to find synergies on how we can help you run and establish your tourism business. The opportunities are there. I think it's just the know-how. And I was fortunate to have been trained through Namibian Tourism Board and how to run a business. And I think with my experience, I think that question is a bit broad. It can, all I can say is that there is opportunity, and it's just for you to look at where are you, what do you see that you can contribute, what type of business in the tourism sector, because there's a lot of different activities within the tourism. There's accommodation, there's activities, there's shuttles, there's transportation. It all forms part of tourism, and there's also leisure and many other things. So my message will just be that every Namibian from every region across this country, especially the grassroots, when the tourists are going through your community or they're driving past there, that is an opportunity where you need to be able, there's always tourists going past there, but there's nothing that they can stop to be able to experience. That is an opportunity you must scan, and you must get onto it and start working and finding people like me or others and say that I see an opportunity, and then how do we help from there? I think that is the only contribution we can give now. All I know is that tourism is the fastest growing sector in the world, and Namibia is an emerging country, and there's a lot of eyes on Namibia, and we hope that the Dubai Expo will bring more tourists here so that all of us can be able to eradicate poverty and create jobs and find new institutions.
Thank you, Heinrich. Before we conclude, is there any of the participants who wants to ask him questions?
Robust. Everybody's afraid.
Say, yeah. Anybody?
Yes.
There's a question from Jay Ambody. I want to create a business opportunity in the tourism sector as I have a passion for tourism and hospitality. Do I need to study at a university to get the necessary skills in order to start the business?
University, what I'm, university is one of the best, for anybody who wants to start a tourism business. I told you that I was a dishwasher, I was a waiter, I work in the bar, I work in the catering, I was a cook, I was a tour guide. I was those, especially young people. I would suggest that, all of those ones who are going for studying at university, I see that there's more on the theoretical, but there's less on the practical. And when you finish your university, you are coming to look for a job at Hafeni organization, but you don't have the practical. I need to train you again. So my brother, I am saying that go, whether you become a dishwasher, if you want to come into the tourism industry, those are the small things that you need to be able to have experience in. And then while you go to university and you start, as I said, tourism is broad. I would really suggest that study, because I told you that I went to study, because I feel like I never had my brain was not emancipated enough. So I needed to have to understand. So I will say that it's good, study is very important. But again, do not forget, go work in a hotel, waitering, bartending, and work your way up, depending on what you are studying. So when you finish studying after 4 years or 5 years, you are actually one of the most important person for the tourism industry in Namibia, because now you are very rich in resources and you are ready for the market by the time you finish your school. So I really advocate, because when you see a business there, ask for an opportunity. And then again, the mindset of like you coming where you don't have an experience. First, you need to learn. And when you learn, that's when you can be able to say, I need how many dollars. But also be humble a bit, and then just take it one step at a time. The opportunities are there, but I would really want to encourage that the vocational training, the skill of the industry. Theory is good, but practical is even more good. Both combination, you need it. And if you don't have both, try to get it. I think that if I answered the question of my brother there, yeah. And then obviously it's just academic, maybe. And then also, once he worked, he will now get the experience on how to run a restaurant. He will get the experience on how to run a hotel. And then now he can go establish himself in Kurenkuru, his own hotel, because now he's been working for 5 years and he's been studying. So now automatically he'll become a very successful business person, because first he had to learn the way of, and then he understands it better. And then you get mentors.
Hafeni, some of the participants are asking, can they contact you maybe?
Yeah, the contact, the American Center, Walvis Bay, is our partner. I think I want it to be that if we had to do mentorship, it's something that we are passionate about. We need to record this, we need to teach this, and we will come up with activity. I would rather like say, if we can be able to, whether through the US Embassy in Windhoek or through the American Center here in Walvis Bay, because we can be able to facilitate. I think let's create an activity of where we can invite entrepreneurs, and I think I've done it before, because, and then those who want to directly engage with me, feel free. All I'm asking is that be innovative, be hungry. If you engage me, come, don't, yes, we need to teach you. That's why we said American Corner is there. We will work together with the US Embassy to teach the skill and the mind of what you need to possess. But the one that wants to engage me, because now we are going to the next level and you're ready and we want to give back. But again, we also have a social platform through the American Embassy where we can be able to, I can volunteer myself to come and give, I think, Cheryl, I think that will, and then those ones who are ready to feel like, I've seen your brand. Sometimes you look at the business. I'm an entrepreneur, I want to get to the top of the mountain. But to get to the top of the mountain, I need skillful young people who are also hungry and believing that they can contribute to the organization's growth. Because organizations are not built by the entrepreneur alone. The entrepreneur only have a vision, but the people that he employs or associate himself or her with are the people that can play a pivotal role for the rise of the success of that organization. So that is my methodology to say in the next dispensation after COVID-19, those who are saying they have degrees, let's sit on the table and you are not having a job. Let's try to reshape those ideas and boldly, execute the vision that we have, because the vision will be as a result of the team. That's my message. But Cheryl, those who want us to create, whether it's in Walvis or wherever, I will get my team of tourism or entrepreneur experts, and we'll come and give attitude of how to become the next champion, because the African continental free trade or many other things, we can collaborate on that. But again, I'm welcome, of course. You can engage me. Feel free.
Thank you, Hafeni. We'll do that, and we'll communicate with you regarding that. Maybe Ms. Anneke Blizzard want to just thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah. We want to thank you, Hafeni, for this insightful information that you provided. We think the participants, they really took something from this, and I hope it's helpful to them. As Cheryl said, they can contact us through the email address. I will put it into the chat just now. Then they can send an email if there's any questions or any maybe suggestions that they have on training or engagement what that we can do. So okay, we'll post it now. Okay. Okay, so well, that's it from our side. I don't know if you have anything else to add.
No, I think my parting shot is just that the time has arrived. I think when you start off, I think our generation, the time has come for us to cement our place in African business. Opportunities have been created so that we can also swim. The time for that you're a young entrepreneur, you don't have experience, are gone.
Yeah.
We are ready to participate in the big discussion of trade and investment in our country. Yeah. I'm one of those entrepreneurs who say that we are not here. We don't want to be bystanders of economic activities in our country. I want to see young people robustly and boldly participating with vigor and resilience. The time has come. Africa, continental free trade area, that must be our discussion. Our economy, 2.5 million, is not enough. But now there is an opportunity. It's not easy, but again, that is what it is. Your legacy, what is the legacy that you will leave behind as an African? What is your contribution? How hungry are you? Yes, sometimes there's no money, it's okay. Pain is temporary, but the vision is important. And those ones who have long-term and attitude and that respect, they will eventually be the masters of this beautiful country. So let us all be the masters. Let's walk that journey. Thank you, American Embassy and American Corner Walvis Bay, Madam Cheryl, for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hafeni, and
thank you very much. God bless you all.